Hi, everybody. This is Coach Penne coming to you live from the chess room, otherwise known as Library Classroom 3. And no guest this week, so this will be a quick podcast. I just wanted to show what the matches were this week and then what the standings are this week, preview our new matches, which are happening tonight, and show two really quick games, two very good games that were played in our divisions this week. So here we are, current week, and here are the results, and here's what happened. Sam picked up a win. We had, let's see, Chris and Aaron got a draw. That game is interesting to look at if you want to go look at document Chris and his account, or where is Aaron? There was a interesting, possibly a misclick at the end of the game, which drastically affected the outcome. We had Jalen and Kinnick, which will be one of our featured games where Jalen wins that one. Trevor versus Austin. Austin picks up a win. And then in the Rock and Sock division, we had Martin picking up what some might call an upset, some might not. We have Martin beating the probably the odds-on favorite here, Coach Brian. So spoiler alert, Martin will be in the lead with sole possession of first place. So every player, though, too, now what that does is every single player in the Rock and Sock division now has a loss. So that gets interesting. We have Xander and Elias. Elias won. Ryan Austin won. Some of the favorites bringing it home. And guess what, everybody? If you've been tuning in now, I think this is week number 5. Got my first win in a tough match against Sam, who's played a lot of tough matches as we go here. So let's get right to it. We had a couple games to just show real quick. Thought they were really well played, and so have some interest in showing what's happening here. But let's start with not that one. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Starting Rock and Sock division. This is the game that I meant to bring up. We have Jalen as the black pieces, our 7th grader, and we have Kinnick, our resident junior, about to become a senior. Here we go. Kinnick plays. Starts with D3. Interesting opening. I don't know a name for what's happening here. I'm sure somebody could let me know. But Jalen, I do want to say, has been talking a lot about the courses he's taking with Elite Chess in Naperville and how it's helped his game. So I thought Jalen just played super solid throughout the opening. In fact, both players play pretty well here. And so we'll navigate to a point that's maybe a little more meaningful. Both players have castled. Maybe the first odd move of the game where Kinnick has his queen on maybe not a super desirable square, just asking the question, where is that going to go, right? What is the future of that piece? You've also got a bishop here on F4 that might seem maybe a little bit misplaced as far as what are we going to be doing with that bishop? And it's got the pawn in the way of its diagonal. So a few places a little questionable. I think Jalen's pieces look pretty solid here. There we go. Good rook moves from both players. And here we go. This is where things start to get exciting. So not only does Kinnick put a threat out there on the bishop, but then Jalen follows it up with a threat on the queen. This move here actually swings the analyzer quite a bit, and I think it's just due to the position. Again, where is that queen going? And not to mention here, now that this pawn can be taken, now things obviously swing in the favor of Jalen. I think the best move was just to retreat the queen to A3 and call it a day there. Again, not a desirable position, but better than just losing a pawn for free. So knight's hanging, got to defend. Jalen offers a trade. Why not? We're up. Allows him to reposition a rook, better his liking. And I was impressed Jalen found that move for A5. Okay, creating threats, right? Jalen is full of threats in this game already and has really taken the aggressor's role. As black, we can more commonly probably see that as white. Anyway, threat coming here on the C pawn. How do we respond? Well, we defend, but I mean, there's another threat coming. So tough sledding here as more of these threats happen. And now things get really nasty because now this presents a fork, right? So now here's the fork. Now, after Kinnick goes here, you're still double threaded, right? We're still either losing a knight or losing a rook, and Kinnick decides to get some material for it. And Kinnick's bishop's pair is just nasty right now, right? So we are trading. And at this point, Jalen's simply trading pieces, but also is up the exchange here. That move seemed a little odd there, right? Where we just kind of gave up a piece. Don't think Kinnick maybe evaluated that move fully because, yeah, the bishop is just hanging. And it's going to be tough to defend it because of Jalen's pawn here, right? I mean, where do you go? This is tough. I mean, you can just slide the bishop back. It's not a great position. Tough sledding here. So here we go. We're just going to fast forward a little bit. Jalen does a nice job of kind of finishing this off where he's threatening checkmate in one. Kinnick doesn't see it. Checkmate in one. There you go. All right. So that was our first game from the Pineapple division. Let's go to our game from the Rock and Sock division here, where we had Brian versus Martin. Really our two strongest competitors at the moment as far as score goes. So here we go. We have Martin playing the white pieces, Brian playing the black. I realize both games have been from the perspective of black here. Let's see how both players do. All right, so let's see. Nothing too crazy, pretty solid opening sets. Coach Brian probably trying to reposition a knight here. Usually we don't see a knight jump to there, so sure enough, Brian's also got the two pieces lined up, right? A battery with the queen rook battery on this open C file. This move is going to look odd from Martin because it looks like we're just sacrificing a piece. But what Martin has done here is blown up that king side. And I think that's where all the trouble comes in here for Brian, because this move didn't need to happen. You can see here, if you go over the game yourself, we could have moved the knight here and been okay, because then that knight defends the rook. But after this king move, then the bishop just takes the knight, and tough spot, right? Now it's a tough spot for Coach Brian to be in. He's going to make some threats here. And in fact, Coach Brian even has winning chances. I think a mate in 13. I can't believe he didn't see this coming here. But let's see what happens along the way. So game right now, if anybody's curious, just to see where we're at with things, shows game is completely locked up, right? So tight game at the moment. Both players trying to find advantages, and believe so. Another thing to point out, look at where Coach Brian's king is. It is centralized. I know we're probably not technically to the end game yet, but might be in a good spot for later. Who knows? Right here, good move from Martin here to push that pawn. And again, is trying to create some play here, maybe some to get a passed pawn. So right here is a big moment in the game, and Brian had winning chances here with it could have been an amazing sacrifice here, a rook sack, where he's, knowing Brian, he's gone over the game already. But if you want to see it played out, it looks something like this, right? Where this happens, and I've played it through a little bit here. But, and this, if you didn't see it, this was the suggested best move after the check here, is to just put the queen in the path. And if you don't see what's happening, otherwise it's going to be checkmated too. If that queen does anything else, if the king slides over, we have check and then another check following. So here we go. Best move recommended there. And while it's not checkmate, things just get pretty nasty here. It's not checkmate yet. Obviously, it's coming, right? You can follow the path here. So yeah, Coach Brian, a little disappointed you missed that mate in 13. Anyway, back to what actually happened in the game here, right, is this. So after this move, just another threat. And both players are running pretty low on time. Martin's got 4:24, and Coach Brian just reemphasizing, you missed the mate in 13 you had 25 whole seconds left. So we don't follow you there. So anyway, defending. Martin's take here is big. After this move, this kind of seals the deal here. You can see here, it goes from big swing here at -13, right? Checkmate in 13 for black to now plus almost 9. So almost advantage queen here when we're, more than that, right? It's analyzing along the way. So couple more moves, and this is about it here. This is end of story. So after the forced trade of queens, either in the passed pawn here, I don't know if this is where it shows an ending here. And again, this was actually played out beyond. So here's where the actual game ends with 6 seconds left. And I believe there was either resignation. Oh, it says black timeout. So yeah, Brian did not, he just timed out in this game. But white did have a distinct advantage. So good game played by both players for sure. All right. Now let's go to, again, we want to see what's going on with this week and how it adjusted. Now standings, I actually ran this because I ran this tournament as a round robin. There's no tiebreakers involved that I can see. It just, if anybody wants, if you're watching this and you want to screenshot this tells a little bit more about how the player is done. For instance, on, Martin, if you follow his path here, it says he was black against myself because I am currently player number 6. And that's where Martin picked up his first win. And then he was white against player number 7. That was Sam. He picked up a second win. In week 3, he picked up a third win. Now here, week 4, when he played against Xander, that's where he stalled out and still stayed at 3 wins. So that's how to read this. And I've got both up here. We've got, again, so Martin was now in sole possession of first place in the Rock and Sock division. You've got Brian and Elias with 3.5, Ryan with 3. You've got Jacob 2, myself, I've got 1.5, Sam at 1.5, and Xander with 1. And in this division here, we've got Jalen undefeated. Ooh, I said somebody had a loss. I lied. Jalen is currently undefeated, so we're going to see who he plays this week. Maybe Jalen suffers his first loss. Maybe he keeps going and just rolls right through. But here are the current division standings for the Pineapple League or division. Let's go to, here's the new matches for this week in the Pineapple division. Let's see what we've got on tap here. I think for sure Jalen and Chris is the marquee matchup here because Jalen has 5 points. Chris has 3.5. And again, there was a misclick in the game. So you never know. We're looking at 2 players that certainly want to win that match. And then in the Rock and Sock division, Sam and Brian certainly could be fireworks. Ooh, Elias and Martin. I gotta say, that for me is the marquee matchup in the Rock and Sock division that everybody should be watching. I might find myself spectating as well tonight just to check it out. Ryan and Xander, myself versus Jacob. I think, honestly, all really good matches this week. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck, everybody, in your matches this week.